Happy Friday. Well, we've made it to the end of our work week, and look, a beautiful sunrise for us here on our windows in Moore Tower Camp, but some high clouds are building in as well. Now, it'll be partly sunny for this morning, but cloud cover is going to increase ahead of some showers and storms that are on the way. Our temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, though. I'd say a warmer start for us. On our Fremantle First Alert Doppler, though, we're tracking some risk for flooding as we progress into the next 24 hours, some areas longer than that. So the one that we're really tracking is Vernon County. They are under a flood warning. Now, that is going to start going into this evening and last all the way until Monday morning, possibly. The rest of these areas in the green for the 4 states are under a flood watch. That should start around 6 p.m. this evening and extend till 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. But with the reoccurrence of more heavy rainfall, we could possibly see that last longer. But you know what else is going to be a danger for us? It's going to be winds. Damaging winds is the biggest threat we are expected to see for tonight's showers and storms. And a gust today could reach close to about 40 all the way to possibly 50 miles an hour. So it's going to be quite gusty to windy for us this evening. So what's bringing in all of this activity? Of course, the usual culprit we're used to seeing is this cold front right here, upper level low pressure system. So that's going to push closer to the area going into this evening. And these showers and storms are going to start to accompany it, really align with this right here. Now, the convective activity should start to organize better. We'll see some instability increase. And if enough wind shear is present, some of these could turn severe for us. And today is actually the highest risk we have for severe weather that we've seen all week. So you do want to be weather aware, because even with the threats we've already seen so far this week with the storms, some of those areas did see some severe thunderstorm warnings in our viewing area with possible tornado tags. So that is also going to be a threat we are tracking this evening, tornadoes and also hail, excessive rainfall for us too. Now, high pressure should start to settle in as we get closer to, I'd say, tomorrow, and then even going into Sunday morning. That'll help to bring in some sunshine. These showers and storms should clear up by tomorrow mid-morning, and they'll push out, and then we should start to see some dryness build back in. But this is our severe outlook for today. I know when we start to see the orange and the red, and we do not want to see the purple, but when we start to see the orange, that's when we really want to start to kind of raise our eyebrows. It's a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for us. All threats are possible, including some larger size hail over the size of golf balls. Also, winds up to 70 to 80 miles an hour, biggest threat right there, and then a couple tornadoes. And then we're also tracking to our south that slight 2 out of 5 risk. So I know it's Friday evening. You probably have some nice plans, but please be weather aware this evening. We are likely going to see a lot of these increase tonight. That has been the pattern so far, and even into the overnight hours. A lot of this will start to die down by tomorrow morning, and we'll likely see some flooding risk with this 2 out of 5 slight risk for us to experience some excessive rainfall. And you might be thinking, Shelby, we need the rain. We've been very dry. Yes, most of the 4 states still under a drought, really, or some form of drought. But when we see it all come down at once, it does bring in that severe threat of flooding, which can be life-threatening at times. Highs for today, 80s for most of us, around 81 in Joplin, 82 in Grove, and then we're also looking at some 70s as well. Wow, Branson, 85 degrees. As we get into this evening, the lows are going to shift into the 40s, so we're going to kind of be a bit cooler for this evening. That's due to the cold front that'll be shifting through. Now, here's a look at your KSM forecast from your local weather authority. High today, going to be around 81 for us. Afternoon storms are in store for us. It'll be breezy out there. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Well, we finally made it to the weekend, and just when we thought things were calming down, they're not. We're going to be seeing things pick up going into this evening, so enjoy the actual calm before the storm. It's looking actually nice on our windows in Moore Tower Camp, but those winds are howling outside right now. On our Fremantle First Alert Doppler, not only are we tracking some flooding risks, you can kind of see a couple isolated little shower nuggets right now. Those are kind of moving through some of the 4 states. We're very light, and the drier air at the mid-levels is kind of feeding off any moisture from really hitting the 4 states right now. But our temperatures are near the 80s for us, and we are again tracking some future flooding risk for us. Look at that. All of this right here, that green is risk for flooding. So the lighter green is flood watches, and then once we get to that deeper kind of bright green, those are some flood warnings. Some of these are set to last till Tuesday morning to Tuesday afternoon. But look at these winds coming in. Yes, gusts are going to get close to about 20 all the way to 30 miles an hour for us. We should see a little bit of calming though as we get into early tomorrow morning, but those breezes are going to last, I'd say, through most of tomorrow as well before Sunday starts starts to calm down. Sunday is going to be our relief day from all the activity that is set to come in. So what's bringing it? Well, it's this cold front right here carried off by this upper level low pressure system. So this is going to be a really big factor when it comes to tonight's chances for severe weather. Now, if this front moves in quicker than we anticipate, that could feed off chances for very severe storms. But if instability builds up enough wind shear as well, and then these storms become a bit more organized, well, we could see some serious action for us tonight. And again, as I talked about earlier, you need to treat the weather as it could be the worst case scenario just as much as it could be the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we see tornadoes hit. That is a threat for us, as well as damaging winds and some larger sized hail. So this activity should start to move out as we track into early tomorrow morning, so the weekend can really get started going into tomorrow. And then I'd say through Sunday, we'll have some high pressure start to circulate closer to the area, and that should help to bring in some of that nice sunshine by our weekend. But look at this right here. So this has just changed in the last 15 minutes for us. This red here, you can't really tell as much, but some portions of southeast Kansas, also southwest Missouri for our viewing area are now in a 4 out of 5 moderate risk. Biggest threat we'll be tracking is going to be damaging winds up to 80 miles an hour. Yes, that is very strong. And then we're also looking at some larger size hail that could be up to the size of golf balls, and then a few tornadoes as well. Those are expected, if they do touch down, to be quick and possibly rain wrapped, which means there's so much rain coming down that they're not as easily detectable on our radar. So this is also our outlook when it comes to the wind. You can see right here some of our strongest wind is actually lying where that moderate risk is here in the purple. Then even here in the red right here, that's about a 30% chance to see some stronger winds, and it starts to decrease the further south you get. So yes, it is Friday night, and I know you guys probably have some nice plans, but you definitely want to rethink those, because we are likely going to see, if not severe storms, very strong storms for us that could also lead to some flooding risk. We already are seeing some flash flood warnings that could possibly come into play for us, but we are under flood warning already for some of the area, or at least set to go into effect going into our evening. But our highs for today around 81 degrees for us in Joplin, 80 in Parsons, and also 82 in Grove. But as we get into this evening, lows are going to start to drop off a bit. We'll get really cool for us, or a bit cooler than we've seen in a while. We'll be in the 40s, and then going into Saturday evening, tomorrow evening, we'll be in the 30s. Now here's a look at your KSN forecast from your local weather authority. Today we're going to see that high